Vote Democrat or you're a racist. That's the focus of tonight's Angle. Now, have you noticed a growing trend in America? White supremacist organizations are popping up all over. North, South, East, West. Racist groups are gaining traction. Now, I'm talking about white supremacist book clubs, white supremacist bowling leagues, white supremacist garden clubs, even edgy new fashion trends for white supremacist spring breakers. There are white supremacist daycare centers where the snacks are obviously white rice, milk, yogurt, potatoes. You get the point. Now, if you believed any of that, turn off the TV, go to bed, and call your doctor in the morning. Of course, all this is ridiculous. True white supremacists, real racists, have been, thankfully, shunted to the extreme fringes of society. But to listen to the Democrats' messaging heading into 2024, you think our nation is about to be taken over by men in white hoods, even if there are no white hoods and these supposed racists are black and brown people.
Being Hispanic or being black does not, or being anything, does not make you immune from being racist, from being radicalized, from being a white supremacist.
Part of understanding the Latino blog is understanding that we too can be racist. Yeah. We too can fuel white supremacy.
We've seen a number of individuals who are clearly Latino, or at least of Latino heritage, who are white supremacists.
Well, of course racial bias exists. It always will, sadly, and it does to this day. But what the press surrogates for the Democrats are getting at here goes much deeper. This is an effort to inflate its prevalence or to excuse or deflect from the destruction wrought by Democrat policies, where in our cities, our schools, the culture, the economy, everywhere. So rather than offer real solutions, the left returns to its dog-eared playbook. Racism is systemic, it's structural, and it somehow explains why parents and students, even ones who are minorities themselves, are complaining about sexual propaganda in our schools. Now, the speakers you're about to hear at the Montgomery County, Maryland School Board meeting are what the left considers the new white supremacists.
I'm here to testify on behalf of my elementary-age cousins. They are encouraged to wear pride clothing and rainbow wigs that seems odd to me, as I don't remember a Jewish day where we were all encouraged to wear a kippah, or a Christian day where we were encouraged to wear a cross, or a Muslim day where all kids were encouraged.
Thank you for your testimony.
That's done.
He's a young Muslim former student. Now, the new bullies are the racial and sexual propagandists who defame anyone who disagrees with their twisted mission as white supremacist.
There are over 40 kids that I know who don't want to learn this and really want to be here talking today but can't because they are being bullied. They are the ones being bullied when they say we don't want to learn this. They are the ones being bullied when they say this is wrong. They are the ones being bullied when they say this is against my religion.
Another young Muslim American. Now, it's appalling that anyone has to go through this, which brings us to TL, typical leftist, Christian Mink. Now, this is the type of angry feminist who uses her county position as the ultimate power trip.
This issue has unfortunately put some, not all of course, but some Muslim families on the same side of an issue as white supremacists and outright bigots.
Now, if you can stomach it, look in the mirror, sweetie, because you're the bigot. An anti-religious fanatic who has no business near our schools. Now, who's more eloquent, Ms. Mink or the students should prefer to silence?
The issue of gender and sexuality are influenced by our faith, and we should not be caricatured as intolerant. Intolerance of the faith community threatens to erode support for religious freedom, therefore eroding the benefits it provides for everyone.
Now remember, to question the left's cultural Marxism is to be called white supremacist, pure and simple, or of course anti-gay. To question quotas, well, the same thing.
DEI does not mean DEI. It means black and gay people. Frankly, that's what it means. It's a fear of the other.
Fear of the other. Well, by now it's pretty obvious, right, that the Democrats knew once Biden was elected, America would be in for a lot of suffering and a lot of sacrifice. So what's a political party to do to stay in power at that point. Everything's going down the tubes. We all know it. It's to smear anyone and everyone who gets in their way, even if it means alienating some of their traditional supporters, Latinos, Muslims, even blacks. Now, we see this in their attacks on Ron DeSantis as well. Last year, he was reelected with major support among Latinos in his state. Remember, he won by 20 points overall, so how to beat him in the presidential contest? Pretty popular guy, right? Well, use the whiteout strategy. Focus on his laws against critical race theory and sexualized curricula. Use your press buddies, then, to frame it all as rank bigotry. On May 20th, this headline blasted across the internet. The NAACP issues a travel advisory for Florida. Now, the obscene idea that the state is hostile to black Americans? Yeah, this is part of the plan. Then 3 days later, stick with me, a gay rights travel advisory. Okay, just along with one warning immigrants not to head to the Sunshine State as well. Notice they left out the term illegal. Then came the crowning glory from that bunch of frauds over at the Southern Poverty Law Center. It's a leftist front group, by the way, that exists to smear conservatives. They put the benign group Moms for Liberty on their extremism list. Now, of course, if any group is extremist and should be on that list, it's the SPLC itself. So this is all coordinated. The Human Rights Campaign declared a state of emergency then, nationwide, for LGBTQ people. Don't leave your homes. Then today, obviously feeling left out of all the fear-mongering, the Associated Press, of all places, runs with this story, claiming that gay and black kids now feel less safe in schools. You see this, right? Don't you? This is all carefully orchestrated. It's a disinformation campaign meant to intimidate good people from speaking out, and those same good people from trying to influence things like school boards or their local governments. If kids feel under siege, it's precisely because groups like Gilson and HRC have turned our educational institutions into their own sick playgrounds for left-wing community organizing. And along the way, they've shown their own vicious intolerance against parents and students of faith who just want a good education, not indoctrination. But remember, go back to the original. This is all the Democrats have to offer in 2024. They're going to avoid addressing things like the invasion at our southern border, why the schools are so dangerous in the inner cities, why the kids aren't learning, why they've fallen behind. Instead, they're going to keep fanning the fake white supremacy flames.
Domestic violent extremism is our greatest threat right now. And regrettably, we have seen a rise in white supremacy.
The most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
You know what the most dangerous threat to our homeland is? How about a guy who often can't think, can't walk, or can't start a sentence, being able to actually start a nuclear war? That's pretty scary. The party of FDR, the party of JFK, has become a mockery of itself. Soon it will be up to the voters, though, won't it, to see if they want to return to economic growth and prosperity, or do they want more of this whiteout acid that the left is slinging? And that's the angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.